Hi everyone, this is Anthony Fridgley, known as Anthony Fridgley 2003 on my YouTube channel here, and this is a message for all the Thomas and Friends fans out there. This is a special announcement for all the Thomas and Friends fans, for everyone who remember watching the classic Thomas and Friends from the 80s and 90s, for example, for like early 2000s. So yeah, and I just made a special custom Thomas video or DVD, whatever it's called. But it's kind of like a DVD that was already had a retail DVD, which is actually called The Early Years, the complete first season. Well, speaking of the complete first season, I finally made my own version of the. It's kind of like my own. I kind of finally made the custom Thomas and Friends DVD of Thomas and Friends, the complete first season. Yep. And also, I even add the name boards and the title cards on the episodes. So it's kind of like it's actually my own version of a collector's edition. This is actually the home media version. I made it in the home Thomas and Friends video version of the complete first season. Instead of have every... Usually, I remember on the Thomas and Friends early years DVDs with it used the UK version of the narrator of Ringo Starr, and it doesn't have any name boards. But when I made my own custom version of the US version of Thomas and Friends complete first season, well, I used the narration. The storyteller is George Carlin instead of the Ringo Starr, which is the US and UK versions. I used George Carlin. All the episodes have George Carlin, and by the way, all the season 1 episodes are mostly all fully restored. Well, it's except kind of the yep, the name boards are all included, but mostly they're all season 1s. Mostly some of these I made my own custom name boards that have that different versions. Have a rare version that only shown in the UK version, which shows the other side of which is James and Percy. So yeah, and the name boards that were taken from every of the Thomas and Friends VHS in the early 90s. Well, two of them are the DVDs, which is Thomas Gets Tricked, taken from Thomas Gets Tricked, James Learns a Lesson, and the VHS only releases, which are Tenders and Turntables, Thomas Breaks the Rules, and Better Late Than Never, which there were name boards. You have every I put all the name boards from season 1. Well, and two of these. Well, on the last name board on the last episode, it has the same quality of the name boards that was taken from the season 2 version, which is kind of a tiny bit rustic. So, but I used the actual name boards like they usually most commonly. Just like on any of the scenes, which that was the last part of it, which is the season 2 version of seasons 1 through 2 version of the name boards, but I only showed with the actual regular original version of season 2 version of Thomas and Friends name boards on the last part. Except this one, all the ending have the original Sir Topham Hatt version. Yep, I want to show you. I finally edited and made my own custom DVD. This is actually finally made the complete first season. I did put the title cards as complete first season. It's just instead just showed the names, but it does show the episodes on the episodes during the beginning of the episodes. So yeah, this is kind of like a special video, and this will be uploaded on Internet Archive. I don't think I'll put all of them on YouTube. Yep, I add the titles as the complete first season. Yep, instead of Ringo Starr, instead of UK and US version of Ringo Starr, I used the US George Carlin. Yep.
Thomas is
yeah, I did put all the title ones. Any of the season 1, because usually they don't put the title cards, but all the title cards. I kind of did work so hard on editing videos.
boasted about.
Yep, instead of the showing the intro again, just like the early years. Well, on the early years, they used 2-disc set, but I put on all 26 episodes on it. And yes, it has everything. I have name boards. It'll have the end credits right after the Christmas episode. Yep. Yeah, the first Thomas Christmas episode was the last Thomas episode in season 1.
Fireman felt sorry for Edward.
Yep, I put the name boards. So it will come up soon. I put all the 26 episodes. Any of the episodes I added are actually fully restored instead of the original print versions. So yeah. So it's kind of like a special video. When I made my own custom DVDs of Thomas and Friends, I remember I did put Best of Donald Douglas and some of the custom Thomas DVD, which is my own versions, which is Best of Edward, Best of Duck, and the one they never did but me. But when I did do Best of Donald Douglas, Best of Trevor, which is the sampler DVD version, and Best of Oliver, and more. So yeah, that's what I did. So yeah, that was kind of like a special announcement for all the Thomas fans. And I will upload the complete first season on Internet Archive coming up. So stay tuned. So yeah, I will upload it. So yeah. Yep, it'll have all 26 episodes, but it's actually a George Carlin US version. I don't think the George Carlin version was around in the 80s. It's actually the 1990s version of season 1 instead of the 80s, which those episodes from the 80s. Well, the Ringo Starr was made originally was made by Ringo. Originally the narration was Ringo Starr. There is a US and UK versions of Ringo Starr. The US Ringo Starr, they usually call him the Sir Topham Hat, but in the UK they call him the Fat Controller in the United Kingdom. Yeah, they kind of changed it a little bit on the US Ringo Starr, and I think George Carlin kind of did the same thing as saying the words like they did in the US Ringo Starr version. So yeah, on seasons 1 and 2, so yeah. Well, they didn't have all the season 2 US Ringo Starrs, but they did have all season 2 on George Carlin. So yeah, but I think I will do complete second season sometime soon. But right now I'm doing the complete first season. I think I might, and plus I did finally have blank DVDs, so I could burn discs from that. I could burn a disc wherever that is. It's hard to explain. Don't want to worry about that. But yeah, there you have it. That was a special announcement for all the Thomas fans. It'll have all 26 episodes on one video. So yeah. So it's kind of like a special cut. It's kind of like a special video. This is actually a very full 2-hour video. I don't think I ever done a 2-hour video before. It's actually like 2 hours and 11 minutes on all episodes from season 1. Yep. When I did this time, I had the name boards instead of showing the intros over and over again, because on the early years they put the intros. But I think when I put my own made DVD, I'll put the George Carlin version as the bonus disc. So yeah, I'll put that on disc 4 on bonus disc. But maybe if I did burn a DVD, I'm making a homemade DVD. So yeah, I will burn my own custom DVD of complete first season, which is the George Carlin instead of Ringo Starr. So yeah, there you have it. That was kind of a special announcement video. Thanks for watching.